Morning all. Yep, I know, I'm standing in my garden wearing a Pudsey Bear apron.
That's meant for kids.
That's meant for kids, as just said. It is, yeah, it's got not bad. Oh, it's just a little bit short. But that's a bit of a clue what we're going to be doing later. And it's a bit windy this morning. I've been setting up some stuff to do some baking in the kitchen. So we'll all go and do some baking in my kitchen in a little while. But first of all, I want to know how you got on yesterday. How did your gardens go? Who made one out of Lego? That's pretty awesome if you did. I made mine, well you saw mine yesterday, it was made down at the allotment. I wonder how many of yours you made them out of paper or tissue paper and made some pretty paper flowers. Just remember to send them in to me. Now I've got to go over here because the wind's just blowing all my cardboard away. Here we go. Remember, this is where you've got to send everything into, guys. louisa.adams@stpaulscam.co.uk. I'm going to try and put that down without it all blowing away now. Let's see if I can give it a go. Oh, there we go. Oh, and caught that. Well done, Louisa. Right. So, today, we're going to go on to day 4 in the creation story in the Bible. So, day 1, can you remember what we did? It's over here. Day 1 was light and dark. Day 2 was the water was divided, so we had sea and sky. Day 3 we had all the plants. And now that reminds me, did anybody work out how many plants there were in the Bible? It's a lot, wasn't it? Well, I'll tell you in a minute when we get back to the tables. I've got it written down there. And this is what we're going to do today. We've actually got some stars. So that's a bit of a clue, isn't it? That's if nothing gets blown away. So here we go. This is what it said. There are about 125, can you imagine? 125 different plants mentioned in the Bible. And I made a list of just a few because a lot of them you'll know. Blackberry, you see them definitely growing around everywhere you walk at this time of year, don't you? Dill and sage, you might grow those in your garden. Walnut, well, we often have those in cakes, so I'm thinking of coffee and walnut cake, banana and walnut cake. Fig, you must remember the fig tree is always mentioned in the Bible. Oak, now oak have the little acorns on, and now you actually sometimes see the acorns have been blown off. It's a bit windy because they're growing. Mustard, mint, again mint we grow in the garden. Tulips and crocus, things we expect to see in spring in the UK. So a lot of plants. But let's get back to today. So we have decided, or we know, that God has created light and dark, sea and sky and flowers. And this is what he got up to on day 4. The Bible says this. So God made the two large lights. He made them brighter to rule the day. He made the smaller light to rule the night. He also made the stars. God put all these in the sky to shine on the earth. They're to rule over the day and over the night. He put them there to separate the light from the darkness. God saw that all these things were good. Evening passed and morning came. This was the 4th day. So I thought we'd give the 4th day a chance. We're going to make the picture that's over there. So now that all went flying off, didn't it, earlier? Here we go. So we need to make light and dark. I'm not going to do it as dark as we did it on day 1 because God said that he made a smaller light to rule the light, so it doesn't make it as dark. So we're going to do some grey. When I make a real mess, I'm using, oh, you know, I didn't, every other day I've shaken, haven't I? I forgot to shake today, guys. There we go. So here we go. Some grey. You see, just mixing that in. And there's your grey. And I'm going to put that lid on just in case the wind decides to blow it over again. And there's your yellow. So, as usual, we'll do the light colours first. So you can do half your palette, and I think, didn't I do a little bit of an arc earlier? So if you do half your paint in yellow, And I think I wanted the dark side to look little bit like the moon. Now the moon sometimes is as round as the sun, isn't it? And that's called a full moon. And sometimes it's in a crescent shape and it's called a crescent moon. Somewhere else it tells me about what one of them's called. Or when it's thin, it's called a toenail moon. Imagine, why did somebody call it name it after a toenail? I've got no idea. If you know, can you let me know, please? So this is what we did. We did a little, can you see? Little arch around there for that. And we'll fill in do it either way. I think on that one, oh, I did do it grey on that one. Everything really is blown away, guys. So here's your grey. Now sometimes we get eclipses, don't we, as well? If you know what one of those is, again, let me know. Let me know which way round it. I'll give you a clue. It's either the moon goes over the sun or the sun goes over the moon. Often known as solar eclipses. Here we go. So that's what you need to do so far. Now, as usual, because we've got to do sticky on this one, I did one a little bit earlier. So I'll put that one down there and hope that it doesn't blow away. So here's my other one. I've already put the hole in the top so we can hang it up. Some dry glue. So in my magic box, I should find some stars. Now I had some glittery sort of paper that I made some stars out of. And you could just do anything really, couldn't you? Again, look in magazines that were suggested before, or you could perhaps draw them and colour them in. They don't even have to be silver, you could do whatever colour you like. You might decide you want to do little moons or little earths as well. Or you could even do a shooting star, one out like that. I was driving home from Camberley last week and we actually saw a shooting star, and I hadn't seen one for a long while. It was amazing, just literally straight across the road in front of us. So just a little bit of glue today. You know what I'm like, guys, I always do way too much. There we go. And my trusty spatula, glue stick. There we go, there's one. There's two. And there's three. So we've got the sun. It's not just light and dark, the sun. And a bit like this time of year, what does the sun do? It makes it very warm, doesn't it? So at long last, the earth was getting warm as well. There we go. So again, put your piece of string on and you can hang it up on your washing line just like that. How's that? Oh, I've got a wasp there, I think, quite liking it. Okay, so that's what we've done so far. Now, I thought we'd go and do the baking. So are you ready to come into my kitchen? I'm going to go in, I'm going to beat you into the kitchen. I'm going to make sure that my hands are all washed and cleaned before I start. I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, we're now in my kitchen and we're going to try and make these cookies. Now I've never done these cookies on film before, so you're going to have to bear with me, okay? So in here, I have put 125 grams of butter. Now it needs to be softened butter, so we just hope for the best today that it's soft enough, okay? And into that, I'm going to put 150 grams of caster sugar. So that caster sugar is a bit between granulated and icing sugar, so it's not fine and really soft like icing sugar, but all the grains are a little bit smaller than normal granulated sugar. Now if you haven't got any caster sugar, but you've got a food processor, you can actually put the granulated sugar in the food processor and give it a quick zzzz, and it will then break down to make it a little bit smaller. And what you've got to do, and this is the hard bit, now if you've got, again, if you've got a food processor or a mixer, you can do this using one of those. I've chosen to do it with hand, basically with a wooden spoon today, because the mixer makes a lot of noise and it would be really hard to talk on top of the mixer or above the mixer. So you've just got me putting it together in a bowl, and what you need to do is mix it all, and they always say it's got to look creamy. So, I forgot to say to you guys, remember you need to wash your hands before you start baking. I promise I did do mine, and I had to wash them again because I cracked the eggs open ready for you, so I was a bit covered in egg bits and bobs. So you need to mix it. You can see it's all beginning. I don't know if you can see, I'll turn the bowl up for you guys in a minute. So it all sort of comes together like this. Can you see? And that's called creaming it. Now you are going to get your hands in with this in a minute, so don't worry about them getting all dirty. There you go. So it looks almost like a very thick icing at the moment. Can you see that? Yeah. So I was going to put that down. Then into that, I've already done this. I've cracked 2 eggs, but I've saved the egg yolk. Okay, now I do it by, you can literally hold your hand like this, crack the egg. The egg white goes through, and you can save that to make meringues, or it's not over this bowl, and then you've just got the egg yolk. Okay, so there's 2 in there. You mix those in. I've mixed so hard for a long time, Jess. Then to that, once it's mixed, it looks a bit like that. You add 225 grams of plain flour. You might find it's not enough, so I've got some spare flour there to add in. It all depends on almost the heat of the day. On a very hot day, sometimes you need more flour. So I'm going to put that in. And then in here, I've got my cinnamon and my mixed spice. Now, you can have a teaspoon or you can have a little bit more. Depends how spicy you like your biscuit. You can also, if you wanted to, rather than doing this, you could put some lemon peel or orange peel in as either as well. So it's completely up to you. So you put that in, so, a bit dusty. So there you go, that's in like that. And start off with, do it slowly. If you don't do it slowly, it will end up everywhere. It will end up over the side, it will end up in your hair, it will end up down your front. And you can't eat biscuits that go everywhere. So if we just get it, so use the spoon. I was always taught to do it by hand, so it is really up to you guys. There's something about a hand, literally a completely handmade biscuit, that makes it all the better though. Then if you see, I'll just show you this. I'm just going to scrape it off the spoon. You can end up looking a bit like this. That's not really a biscuit. This is when you've got to put your hands in. But I'm just going to get my flour ready just in case. So you now, with your hands, are beginning to bring it all together. Now, if you find this looks a lot, you could always halve the recipe. So if you wanted to halve it, you would take it down to 1 egg yolk. Wouldn't you? 1 egg yolk. I'm trying to think how many grams of sugar was it, Jess, and butter? It's 125 grams of butter. So that would take it down to 75? Well, no, that's 75. That would be 150 divided. It was 2. But you know what I mean? You can divide it. You can divide it up. So the butter that was up was 125. That would take it down to 50, 60. And that's 62.5. So you could always do it that way. Now, can you see how it's all come together? Like that, yeah? Now, mine's quite dark because I put quite a bit of spice in, because my family like them quite spicy. So there you go. It's on, well, now you can see it's just beginning to get stuck to my side. So I'm going to put some flour down. It's been quite a warm day today. So let's... Okay, now it's time to roll it out. I find it easier to divide it into two and roll out a smaller amount. So again, you need to put some flour down on your side. Now this is when it can go over the floor. Try not to get it to go over the floor. Rolling pin and some flour. And you're going to roll it out, and if you keep turning it, they always say about 5mm thick. Now I'm not asking you to go to your school pencil case and get out your school ruler. Jess, is there any chance that you can zoom in on that or move slightly forward to see how thick it is? Yeah? Now, we're doing sun, moon or stars, I thought, today. We did the stars on the plates. I thought I would do some stars. So there's one star. You'll be able to see how thick. I'm just going to come near with the camera. Tell me how close I can get, Jess.
Just stay where you are, it's fine.
So that's how thick they are. The thicker they are, they'll just take a little bit longer to cook. So here we go. Now I've got like one of these sheets that can go on your baking tray. That means I haven't got to grease it. If you don't, you will need to grease. There's my dishwasher deciding to change programs. If you need to grease it, you just need to get a little bit of the butter and put a layer of it over just by doing that on the board itself. Oh, a little bit more flour needed. See what happens when the rolling pin sticks to it, can't you? You don't put that much pressure at all. Very, very light pressure over it. Now what I'm going to do to save you time having to watch me roll, I'm just going to do a few more, and then I'm going to put them, with my baking tray in, there it is. I'm just going to put them in the oven for anywhere between 8 and 12 minutes. I know that sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, but 8 to 12 minutes, all depends how warm your oven is and sometimes how quick your oven cooks. That's what I'm going to do. Let's grab a tea towel, Jess. There you go. There we go. So they're going to go into my oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, and I'll bring them out and I'll show you what they look like so you know exactly what to look like for yours. So let's just set the timer. And I'll see you guys in a bit, but don't worry about it, you haven't got to loiter about. We'll do a bit of fast forwarding for you. See you in a bit. So guys, by the magic of videoing, I've legged it out from the kitchen outside, and all the cookies are baked and cooled down. So here they are. Now I'm going to try not and drop them because they're all on a tray. Can you see those, Jess? Yeah? So they're all done in star shapes. Now if you like, you could always decorate and put some icing on and put those little silver balls on, but in our household we just like them just like that. Remember to put them into a container that's tight and sealed, then they'll last all week. Question is though, have you done your clearing up? I've done mine. Did it while they were baking in the ovens. I thought that was the best bit. Now, every day we have a challenge, don't we? So today I was thinking, we've done the sun, the moon and the stars. What about, you wait for this, making, let's move the dog, who's going to eat biscuits, making a rocket. Now, I'm just going to show you this because in your resource pack, it tells you exactly what to do. But you need to have a bottle, you need to decorate it. I've put 4 straws on it. And then the pack, in your pack, it will tell you that you need to put white vinegar in and some bicarbonate of soda with a cork and see what happens. If you are able to video it, it would be great. If not, remember to send me in a picture to the usual address. I will put my pictures on Facebook as always tomorrow. But yes, there's the rocket that you can do. Do you reckon it will stand up? And look, it even stands up, guys. So today, remember, clear the kitchen after your baking, eat your cookies because they're really scrummy, do your picture and make your rocket, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow.